Reading personal finance and principles of finance students. I'm going to be using this video for both classes today. I want to give you some more specific instruction on the time value of money and ways we can use that. And so the first thing, if you've looked through, I hope you've looked through the material and PowerPoints on that information. I always tell students this, and I still do. The time value of money is the most important thing that you learn in this class, because it really helps you understand how money works, the compounding effect of interest over time, how investments grow, how inflation hurts, and how interest rates on loans can kill businesses and households through compounding. And it's fascinating and interesting. And so I want to first tell you that today I'll be teaching it through Excel. And so I've given, like I said, some different options, one being using a calculator like this one. If you're not going into finance, you probably don't need to do that. You could use an online calculator. If you type in time value of money online calculators, thousands will come up. There's apps on your phones as well. As a matter of fact, I have one that's just like this, the HP BII Plus financial calculator, just like this one, only it's an app on your phone. Okay, so I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it's some knockoff name. Yeah, 10BA Pro, but the same idea, and they'll ask you for payment and such, but you can ignore that and still use the features. The most important things are that it has the N, the I, the present value, the payment, and the future value. Today, though, I want to show you in Excel, and so I went ahead and added this information to the things in class. Okay, and so let me kind of show you. If you look under our file, you're going to be able to see that information on there. I think it's under Module 2 in Personal Finance at the very bottom, Time Value of Money Spreadsheet. And in Principles of Finance, it would be under Module, I think it'd be Module 2 as well, right? Because Module 2 is the landscape of money. That's the one you guys are on right now. Maybe just be under Files. I still need to add it to the module itself. Yeah, here it is, Time Value of Money Spreadsheet. Okay, so that being said, if you open it up, you're going to see I've given you this information, okay, which is the information that you need to solve really any time value of money question. Okay, so time value of money works like this. You always will be looking to solve for N, okay? N, sometimes people put in PER, so basically that's your period, okay? N per is the total number of payment periods in this investment. Typically in the world of finance, that's one payment, per year. And unless it's mentioned specifically that it's going to be a monthly thing. So anyway, here we have all of that set up. N, I is interest, PMT is your payments, that'd be what you're adding to an equal installment throughout those periods. Okay, your present value is the money that you start with, and future value is the money that you end with. Okay, so if you look here, you'll see this equation says in 20 years at 5% interest, if I start with $1,000 and add $10 a month, or sorry, $10 a year to that investment, all right, how much will I have at the end? Okay, so I'm going to be solving for future value in this question. And here we see the answer to that question. Okay, and so these are already formalized, okay, over here on the right. And so this will be where you get your answers. Okay, typically you're going to need to leave one of these categories blank in order to get an answer over here. Okay, for instance, if I want to solve for I, meaning I don't know the interest rate on a question, if I said, hey, let's say at the end of this, 20 years, $1,000, adding $10 a year to it, what will my interest rate be? Well, I leave interest blank. I put 5,000 here, and there is my answer, 7.87%. Okay. We always will follow some certain rules for this. The first one being, okay, that we need to state our interest rate in the Excel system as a decimal, right? So 5% interest would be 0.05, not 5. Okay. Secondly, we have to assume that this is an annuitized kind of an accounting method where we want to take and put money into an investment. We're taking money and putting it into an investment. We have to state it as a negative. So we're going to state present value and payment as negative, all right, considering that this is an investment. The future value then therefore will be stated as a positive. If you mess this up, okay, let's say you put a positive number here, you're going to get a negative number. That's the same number here. Now the tough part is every once in a while you'll get a question that has reverse. So let's say I start with $1,000 invested, okay, but I want to take money out and actually use it and spend it, all right, for my investment. So let's say I take $10 out per year, all right, from $1,000 investment. I'm still getting 5% interest on the $1,000, but I'm spending $10 out of the account. What is the future value then? There, all right, so there you see the symbols are flipped, okay, so just understand that's how that works. Furthermore, if you're doing a mortgage question, you have to kind of consider things a little bit differently. Like, so let's say we go and we take a 30-year mortgage and get 5%, we have to take out a loan for 5% interest, okay? In a mortgage, basically what you're doing is you're paying down 0. And so now we just need to figure out how much of a mortgage we are buying. In this case, since it's a loan, we're going to take that as a positive number. So let's say we take out a $200,000 mortgage, okay? Here we can see how much our payment would be per year, okay? Because we left that empty, it's solving that equation for us. We're going to be paying $13,010 per year, okay? That is how those work. Remember those symbols, and I note those things here at the bottom. And finally, we have to understand if our time value of money is beginning, if we're starting to accrue interest and starting to add money to our funds at the beginning of the year or end of the year. Actually, the kind of status quo is to use end of year figures. And so end is 0 and 1 is beginning here at this bottom one. And so you can see there's going to be a little bit of a difference if we change the two. Let's go back to the original example, 20 years, 5% interest, start with $1,000 and let's add $10 a year to that investment, okay? If we start investing at the end of each year, we're going to have 2,983. If we start at the beginning of each year, we're going to have a little bit more money because there's a little bit more time within each year for those larger account values to grow, okay? The most of which being that first year. So that is how you use the Excel spreadsheet. So hopefully this will help you guys as we work through in Principles of Finance, those quizzes, right? I give you a lot of mini quizzes so that you can hopefully progress through some easier questions, the harder questions. Note if you've made mistakes so you can figure that out on your own, and then go back and take the other quizzes that you have. I think there's 4 in total. And in personal finance, we actually did a little case study that I'm going to be making another video about as I talk to you guys with that. There might be some questions that that you guys had struggled with, and I like that. I think that's okay for you to try to figure something out as we are adding more information for you to be able to figure out how to do it better. So again, holler at me if you have any questions. I've met with a few students and I'm going to meet with a couple more today about the time value of money, because it is it's something that you probably haven't learned yet, and it's a new foreign concept to you, but for both of these classes, it's really important. Thank you. Have a good one.